Glad to have you join us again. Let's get talking now. The first segment of the show. Owing to the poor state of road, rail networks, and fragmented transportation infrastructure across Africa, traveling by air stands out as a quick alternative and efficient means of connectivity. Unfortunately, Africans' air services are poorly connected, often necessitating multi-day journeys or flights via older continents to reach destinations within Africa. To address the bottleneck, the African Union launched the Single African Air Transport Market, that's StarTimes, in 2018 to create a single African air transport market that promotes economic integration and air connectivity. Sadly, its slow implementation stifles the liberalization of air transport markets in Africa, as only 34 out of 54 African countries have signed up to the StarTimes. Despite the initial skepticism around the introduction of the StarTimes, it has emerged that Nigerian airlines are now optimistic and are currently looking at ways to take advantage of the $4.2 billion market, as many Nigerian traders and other traders from different countries in these sub-regions come to Nigeria to buy goods, but most of these traders move their goods by road and by sea. To give us more perspectives into this development, I'm now being joined live via phone by Dr. Dayo Kayode. He is a socio-political technocrat and aviation safety expert. Dr. Kayode, good morning. It's a pleasure having you join me on the program.
Yes, good morning. It's my pleasure being with you on your platform this morning.
Good one. Now let's get talking now. Can you give us more insight into the StarTimes? What is it really about, and how can Nigerian aviation sector benefit from it?
Yes, you see, this abstract program has been on for well over, I think 5 years or so now. I think about 4 or 5 years. And at that time, I queried it. If you are finding this, what facility, what equipment, and what operational strategy is Nigeria putting in place to be able to maximize whatever advantages coming out of this? And up till today, nothing has been done. And I will show you this. For instance, how many airlines do we have in Nigeria that fly, even within Africa, not to talk of outside the continent, even within Africa? If you look at Ethiopia Airlines, if you look at, how do I put it now, Kenya Airways, if you look at South African Airways, if you look at Gabon Airlines, you will see the number of frequencies that these people fly in and out of Nigeria. But where is the Nigeria airline that is reciprocating this? Moving further, with this policy, that means they can always use Nigeria as their base also, apart from their country. Tell me, the level of employment that this will generate in Nigeria, because definitely they will put Nigerians into their top level management. They will bring in their own citizens as station manager, accountant, and all those top level management staff of the airline. So, look at it being a win-win situation for Nigeria. Nigeria is just losing totally out of that particular relationship that they are disengaged themselves in. Listen, just yesterday I was reading the papers that the new Minister of Aviation was even saying that Nigerian Airlines will be paying compensation to passengers due to delays in flight schedules. I was now asking, what are the facilities that Nigeria authorities have put in place for them not to be delayed in flight schedules? Because one, runways, 40 runways can cause flight delays. When you don't have a power supply to the airports, it can cause delay. When you are not giving adequate and appropriate and timely information as regards weather, it can cause delay. So who pays for that? Why are you not heaping it on the airline operators? Anyway, I said yesterday that I am waiting for our Nigeria Airline Operators Association to respond to that.
All right, now let's. I know we're going to talk about that. It's still also part of the questions I'm going to ask you that also will lead conversation on the show. But before we get to that, let's address this issue that has to do with the StarTimes rather. For Nigeria to truly benefit from this program, you will agree with me that a lot needs to be done to address the mirage of challenges facing this development. And the major bottleneck is the issue of protectionism among state and airline operators, wherein the state and the operators are not willing to open up the market due to competition. Now, my question to you is, how best can this challenge be tackled or managed by the Ministry of Aviation?
It can only be tackled and managed when we don't have trusters operating within our aviation industry. You can imagine the last aviation minister, what he did as regards Air Nigeria. For how many years was he trying to establish Air Nigeria? All full of fraudulent activities. And you can even see what he did at the last minute or part of the last administration. Who has queried him? Who has queried him? Has the issue been fully investigated towards ensuring that policy measures are being meted on him? If that has happened to him, I can assure you what things will still happen. Because it's just like later, they know that when they have stolen, when they have deceived the country, all they need to do is to perhaps give some people part of allow for people to have a bite of the cake, and that is in the air. So not until when we are able to devoid the aviation industry in Nigeria of fraudulent actors, honestly speaking, when seeing anything, what things will still happen.
So let's talk more. Let's stay more on this StarTimes and then look at some of the other contending issues that are standing as an obstacle towards its achievement and its fulfillment, or better still, its implementation in the country. Now, some airline operators, airline owners in the country are complaining about the lack of nationalism on our own part, which is while other countries take advantage of us. As an industry expert, as an industry player in the aviation sector, what should be the approach of the federal government in bringing about fair business practice for other countries?
Now, the issue is this. Number one, like the airline operators say, if Nigeria had been a carrier, no. When you look at the countries of Africa, how many of them isn't having their own national carrier? That is 2, 3. Even those that are struggling to have an airline that Nigeria can key into to ensure that we can get some of the advantages of this coalition. To what extent has Nigerian government been of help to them in terms of non-stability of exchange rates? bearing in mind that aviation business has a lot of foreign exchange factor in it. That's one. Two, to what extent also is the federal government are giving instructions to our banking industry to be of help to some of these airlines that are in need of their